Cameron Tesper here, and I'm back to a new 1203 Barrett TV. And if any last one, go and check it out. And in this episode, I'm going to be going through my top 10 favorite classic episodes of SpongeBob. Yeah, these are going to be from the classic seasons. Obviously, I would put 1 through 3 as, the actual golden classic seasons. But some people also put 4 as well. There are some good episodes in 4, which I do kind of feel like 4 is also a classic season, too. I know it does have some episodes that people don't like, but I feel like there are some good episodes that I will call classics, though, that are in Season 4. So, just to let y'all know if I ever put those in there. But starting... Oh, yeah, and this is part 1, by the way. This is going to be in separate parts, obviously, because I got plenty of other episodes we're going to be talking about. But first is... At number 10 is The Algae's Always Greener, the first episode of the 3rd season. And I just love the start of Season 3, especially with Plankton just wanting to wonder what it's like to live like Mr. Krabs, which he switches places with Mr. Krabs, and now he owns the Krusty Krab, and Mr. Krabs is the one to try to take the formula. And yeah, we get the whole good grief, he's naked. And we get the too much sauce meme and the soiled it as well. There's just so many funny moments in this episode that it definitely just shows a real good start of the 3rd season. Number 9 is the camping episode, which, fun fact, the actual camping song, the fire song that SpongeBob sings, it was actually written by one of the makers of Phineas and Ferb. No. For real. I can't remember who it was, but one of the creators of Phineas and Ferb actually wrote the song for this episode. And yeah, it is definitely a classic with the whole sea bear. And I know they made references in the past to this. Right? They made references to this episode in the past, like the SpongeBob... the episode where Squidward and SpongeBob are trying to remake different memories and referencing past episodes. But definitely a really good one, I can say. Number 8, Pizza Delivery. This one is classic, not just because of the whole Krusty Krab pizza song, but also because Squidward is actually really good in this episode and actually shows that he cares for SpongeBob. He actually stands up for SpongeBob when, after all that hard work, the customer refusing to get his pizza and Squidward taking the pizza and slamming it in the customer's face. Alright, so actually standing up for SpongeBob. I always love these moments when Squidward stands up for SpongeBob. You really don't see it a whole lot. Right, you don't really see that a whole lot, but it's always satisfying when it happens. Number 7, Ripped Pants. A classic, of course, with SpongeBob just trying to impress Sandy, but thinking that he's losing her for Larry and everybody else. But he's starting to get her attention and everybody else's when he starts ripping his pants, which he overdoes it and starts to lose everybody. And of course we have the whole song as well that is really good. Number 6, I Was a Teenage Gary. I really do like this episode, especially the spooky vibe of it. And yeah, Squidward having to take care of Gary while SpongeBob and Patrick are away, but of course he fails. And SpongeBob gets injected with snail plasma, which he turns into a snail. And then at the end, Squidward also turns into a snail too. Number 5, Wormy. Yes, I actually love this episode because obviously this episode is known for one big reason that everybody would know of course. But of course SpongeBob and Patrick are having to do pet sitting for Sandy. And of course we have the infamous saying that may scare some people when they're younger. And that's of course the whole horsefly close-up that they show 3 times in the episode. Apparently this episode is banned in one country, or several countries, which is not a surprise, but I don't think I was ever scared of that close-up of a horse. Because, yeah, it is a horsefly close-up. It's a horsefly, not a butterfly. The close-up, at least. Number 4, SB129. A very classic one, too, where Squidward accidentally goes back in time. And, of course, this is where we get the, caveman SpongeBob meme that you would say. The meme that you would see a lot of people use. This is where it came from. And the future as well. And alone. But yeah, definitely a really good one. Number 3, wet painters. And I just love this episode because SpongeBob and Patrick are having to paint the inside of Mr. Krabs' house, and Mr. Krabs threatens them of tearing off their butts and hanging them up on his mantle over his fireplace if they get paint on anything, because it's permanent paint. And I just love the thought of that, just ripping their butts off if they get paint on anything. And yeah, again, it's just so funny, though. It's that classic SpongeBob, and with the very hilarious, funny humor, too. And yeah, them getting permanent paint on the 100 or the first dollar bill, but of course it's not permanent paint at the end. Number 2, Something Smells. The first episode of the second season, and another way to start a season off, with SpongeBob making his sundae with onions, peanut plants, and ketchup, which, yeah, for breakfast. And of course he starts having a bad breath and killing everybody, and thinking that he's called the Ugly. And yeah, Patrick tries to help him, but ends up getting called the Ugly as well. And then the number 1 episode, at least for this list, for part 1, Chocolate with Nuts. I just absolutely love this episode. SpongeBob and Patrick delivering chocolates to different people, and the debut of the chocolate guy, and the old lady and her mom as well, and them having to lie to sell the chocolates. And there's just lots of funny jokes in this one, like the whole Patrick just freezing after he runs out of the diner, and then saying, let's get naked, and just saying, no, let's save, don't want to sell real estate. And also the I love you as well. And why is this chubby staring at me? Focusing. Like, Patrick just nails this episode, though. Really. He steals this episode. But like I said, this was part 1, of course. I got plenty more I'm going to be talking about, so stay tuned when I do make the upcoming parts.